nice and toasty. Nothing like a warm blaze on a cold northern winter day. Mickey with CarryTrainer.com, Drew behind the cameras and editing desk. So do we at Carry Trainer still choose CCW Safe as our number one go-to coverage company for the terrible day that we get into some legal trouble defending ourselves lawfully and righteously? Well, first of all, I must tell you, I do make some money with CCW Safe, which is not why I'm doing this video. Why I choose to do business with CCW Safe is why we're doing this video. We've had these conversations before. I want to have this one now because I get phone calls, messages, emails. Had one yesterday, which is what prompted me to do this, saying, why don't you go with this company or that company? So I want to talk to you about my personal experience with these guys, and you make your own decision. So I told you that I make some money with CCW Safe. We have some business dealings with them. That said, I could go make money with probably any one of the companies out there doing this. I could go to any of the names that you see and I could say, hey, can I make money somehow working with you? And they'd say, sure you can. I don't do that for a couple of reasons. It wears on me and weighs on me to make sure that whatever we share with you guys is the best. People have come to us since we started our YouTube channel. Just same with everybody else that does YouTube videos. You could be a hairdresser, right? And somebody that sells hair dryers or shampoo will come to these people and say, hey, can we pay you to do a review on our hair dryer or on anything else or to work with us? I only want to share things that are the best. The best doesn't always mean the most expensive. It doesn't always mean the most flashy. It doesn't always mean the one that the other cool guys endorse. In fact, sometimes just because a bunch of cool guys endorse a thing doesn't mean anything. In fact, it could be worse. It might mean that that company's sales model is just getting you and me to buy stuff because a cool guy endorses it, right? Just like having an NBA star wear a certain basketball shoe or a certain driver, a race car driver, race for a certain brand, right? That might make you want to go out and buy that vehicle. That's really why racing exists in the sense that it does now, right? You see that car win on Sunday and then you go buy one on Monday. That said, there's good reasons I choose CCW Safe. So when we sought to figure out which company we were going to hitch wagons to, I called everybody that would answer the phone, said, hey, my name's Mickey. I am a firearms trainer, got a YouTube channel. I work for a firearm rights protection group. I'm involved in some politics. I am interested in finding the best company in this space to partner with. What do you got to say about it? And some companies didn't want to talk, or they didn't want to answer questions. Some companies were really just interested in telling me why other companies sucked. A few companies were interested in giving me the pluses about their brand. CCW Safe guys were like talking to an old friend. This isn't made up. This is my experience. So I talked to a man named Gary Eastridge. This is how Gary talks. If you ever see a YouTube video with me and Gary, this is how Gary talks. Gary's a good old boy from Oklahoma. And maybe I'm partial because I was born in the great state of Oklahoma. The port of my birth was a little town called Broken Arrow outside of Tulsa. So maybe I'm partial because of that. But Gary was a homicide cop, a lifelong policeman in Oklahoma City, and then went on to work for the state's attorney's office in that county where Oklahoma City is, and worked in their investigations. I think maybe they call him a district attorney out there in Oklahoma, but went to work for their county attorney and was in charge of criminal investigation stuff for a long time. Another gentleman by the name of Stan, that's one of the founders of the company. Longtime copper, tactical guy, did the hands-on stuff with bad guys. Mike Darter, just did a podcast with Mike. Judo guy, a hunter, outdoorsman, a fighter, a good dude. And I started meeting these guys and hanging out with them, talking with them, and realizing these guys are like me in the sense these are good dudes that care about their community, that care about doing the right thing. Most importantly, and this was the part that stuck with me, they care about offering a product that does what they say it's going to do. So I'm going to do an interview with a member of CCW Safe that was involved in a self-defense shooting. And the day that he was involved in that self-defense shooting in California, and you can look for this video in the future, I've got to get out there still and get with him. I'm hoping to do it real soon. The day that that happened, I was on the phone with some of the guys from CCW Safe. And they said, hey, I got to go. They hung up. They went to the airport because they got a call from this member while he was in custody. Said, I was involved in a self-defense shooting. Here's what happened. These guys from CCW Safe, and I can't tell you that this is what happens every time, but I can tell you this is what happened in this instance. And this guy's not special. They didn't know him. He wasn't somebody that they were like old buddies with or anything. It was just a member that called and said, hi, I'm member number blah, 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 or however they do it. They flew from Oklahoma straight out to California, got involved. Their legal team got involved immediately. This guy's out of jail the same day, or out of custody. I don't think why this story is valuable, because of their rapid intervention, because of the way that their attorneys communicated to law enforcement, because of the way that this member was educated on the law and educated on self-defense, knowing to do the right thing at the right time. This guy never ended up incarcerated, never ended up getting charged. And that's the ideal situation, right? So some of the pushbacks, people say, well, I want to hire my own attorney. Look, I've got a lot of friends. I've got friends that are criminal defense attorneys. I've got friends that are real estate attorneys. I've got friends that are, all kinds, criminal, patent, whatever. I don't need those guys. I need a self-defense attorney. Don West is the chief legal counsel for CCW Safe. I don't know if that's the term that they give him, but that's the way I'll describe it. He's like their top guy when it comes to the lawyering part of things. As of today is the 30th of January, 2024, he's the guy that gets the call. Don West, you can look him up. Don West was the lawyer that defended George Zimmerman in the trial down in Florida. Regardless of if you feel or how you feel about that case, if you know the outcome of that case, he was the self-defense attorney. An attorney's job is to give a robust defense for their client, right? This guy knows this law. If you ask lawyers, this guy is like the preeminent self-defense attorney in the U.S. He's not like just some Joe Schmo, right? This is the dude. If you compared this to medicine, if you were going to have brain surgery, you want to go to the premier brain surgeon, right? You don't want just the guy that dabbles in brain surgery. This is the dude that is like the brain surgeon of self-defense law. So goes their whole team. Guys like Gary, like I talked about, guys like Stan. They've got a series of people involved to create such a situation that the best minds are available. The part of it that you have no control over is what the bad guy's going to do, right? The part you do have control over is the part that CCW Safe does very well, helping educate you. And all these companies do this, but I like the way that they do it best. Why? I feel it's the most sincere. I feel that the information that they're pumping out, and make no mistake, there's other companies in that space that provide great material. So I'm not having this discussion today to put down anybody else. There will be a couple things that I say here in a moment that are facts, so I'm not putting anybody else down. CCW Safe is not an insurance company. So I'm sure there will be comments here, and you can put those comments there. I'm not going to waste the time to argue, but they are not an insurance company. Because they're not an insurance company, they are not governed by the same rules and regulations as insurance, which means they can cover things that an insurance company cannot. Now, we've done a series of podcasts and discussions on this in the past, but I think it's worth noting here. The guys that started this company are cops. The reason that they started the company, and I just did a recent podcast with Mike Darter, one of the founders that we talk about it, is when he left police work and he was involved in a shooting on the job while doing a felony warrant. He was involved in a shooting where the police department had to defend him. And he thought to himself, geez, if I ever had to defend myself or my family, I wouldn't have that. And so they wanted to create something that was similar in nature to the defense that could be mustered by the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police. They wanted that same ability to access the great minds of expert witnesses and things like that. And that's what they created. So I said I was going to mention some other stuff. If you go look at some of these outfits out there, they tell you all the things that they're going to do. One of the things we have at Carry Trainer, I've got it on my shirt right here, facta non verba. Facta non verba is Latin for deeds, not words. I like to think of that as show me, don't tell me, right? It's easy to say things, not as easy to do those things. Well, some of these companies, and these things are out there for you to read, so I'm not making it up, where they don't do what they say they're going to do for their clients, which leaves people in a position where they think they had some coverage and now they're screwed. One thing you can always control, if you don't have any of these coverages, you can control and make sure that anything you do is righteous. What do I mean by that? I think this is worth noting. If a company, if part of their business model is to immediately try to find a way to screw you, look for a loophole to get out of supporting you, act in a manner, and you should do this regardless, but I think it's worth noting. Act in a manner that if a group of investigators dig through everything that happened a week up to, a month up to, a year up to the incident that you had to defend your life or the life of another, they won't find anything that a prosecutor, a judge, or a juror could say, maybe this guy wanted to do that. Maybe this guy's the bad guy. Maybe this guy or girl was itching for a fight. Maybe this guy or girl was doing something they shouldn't. Live in a manner, behave in a manner that it leaves no doubt. That's the only thing that you have any control over. You can't control the bad guy. If you can, you could call the cops and say, hey, in 4 hours, a bad guy is going to meet me, right? You can't control if there's 1 or 8 of them. If you could, you'd bring your friends or you'd stay home. Better yet, we can only control our actions. And in that, so I talked to a guy the other day, maybe the guy will watch this video, and he called because he had a question on this product. And I think sometimes people call me versus the company because they think that maybe I'll tell them something different than the company. And maybe I will. I mean, I have an experience that the guys from the company don't, right? My experience is outward looking in. Theirs is inward looking out. I said, like, what's the problem? You know, you're vacillating on what product to buy, right? Most of us probably wouldn't call a buddy and be like, dude, I'm looking to change car insurance. What should I do? Or maybe we'd ask our friend, hey, are you happy with your car insurance? Are you happy with your homeowner's insurance? But you wouldn't go deep, right? All of us know somebody that's filed a car claim, maybe a homeowner's claim, right? Definitely we know somebody that's had a health insurance claim. And we don't argue about these things like State Farm versus Allstate or Farmers or Aetna versus Blue Cross, right? We don't, it's not cool to talk about. But for some reason, dudes will get vehement and they'll argue that this defense coverage company is the best. Why? Why do we do that? Because we attach our value to our ability to make good choices with our purchases. It's the same reason that we say a Ford's better than a Chevy or a Dodge is better than a Chevy or whatever. It's the same reason we say this football team's better than that football team. It is because we believe that our choices somehow reflect our worth. We've all bought something that turned out to be a piece of junk. Does that make us stupid? No, it means that we bought something that was a piece of junk, right? take good advice from people that know. This isn't me. I'm saying in whatever it is. If you've got a friend that's a mechanic and says, hey man, Toyotas are great, I love them, here's why, maybe you should buy a Toyota. Funny thing is, I have friends that work for all the dealers, not all of them. I've got friends at Toyota, I got friends at Subaru, I got friends at Ford, I've got friends at BMW, I've got friends at Dodge, I've got different buddies that work on different things, and all of them would be like, I wouldn't buy one. Why you work there? They feel that way because every day all they see is the problem vehicles, right? Nothing is going to be perfect. When you buy a product, really what are you buying? You're buying the people behind the product. You're buying the people behind the product, which means something to me. When I was just in Las Vegas last week at SHOT Show, one of the owners of CCW Safe made it a point to sit down and have breakfast with me. We didn't talk business. We didn't talk about, doing this video. We talked about his family. We talked about his father. We talked about my family. We talked about stuff that we're doing in our lives. We talked about things that we enjoy. We were two dudes with our ladies being dudes, talking about life. That means something to me. It's not just some numbers guy in an office concerned about the bottom line, because that is when you and me as the consumer get screwed, because now we're just a number and it becomes a game on paper where we allow so many pissed off customers because we know we can make up for it in sales, because we've got a bunch of cool dudes putting their name on our product. So this company that I choose to work with, who isn't paying me to make this video, who didn't ask me to make this video, I'm doing it because people talk to me about it constantly. It's not a numbers game. It's a how do we provide a dynamite product to good people. Now, I'm not speaking for the company. I've said it over and over. This is not a sanctioned video, but I guarantee if they found out you were not a good person, they're going to probably let you loose as a member. If they start finding out that you did something criminal, they probably don't want you as a customer. I'm not speaking on behalf of the company. I'm speaking on behalf of my interpretation of what I've seen. It's because they want a reputation as solid people offering a solid product. We talk about in this world how things keep changing, and it's not like the old days. I purposefully go out and find the companies that do work like that. That my friend Instructor Z is the kind of guy that cares about each and every student that he works with. My friend Paul Sharp is the kind of instructor that cares about each and every student that he works with. My friend Rob is the kind of guy, Rob Wilson, that cares about each and every student that he works with. There are dudes that are instructors that are happy to do 4,000 or 5,000 students a year, and it's a numbers game. Each guy's $350, $500. I can make $1 million. Is there anything wrong with that? No. But I know some of these guys that are running a mill of students because it's a numbers game. Is this a dig on them? Nope. Is it jealousy? Nope. I do a lot of classes too. But I will not do it at the peril of providing a good product. If you are on the fence about which product to get, I'd take a hard look at CCW Safe. We have a link. Again, full disclosure. I get paid if you buy this product. If you go buy another product, I hope it's the product that's best for you. The link here supports us. It supports this channel. It supports Carry Trainer. It supports my family. Do I have a vested interest in it? Yep. But make no mistake, if tomorrow, and the guys from CCW Safe, I'm saying this to you too, if tomorrow I found out that this company was doing crap they shouldn't, if I found out that this company, CCW Safe, wasn't supporting its members as they say that they will and as they have done, if I find out that they're pulling funny games on its customers and looking for loopholes to not take care of them, in a New York second, you'd see all of their stuff come off my website after I called the owners and said, what the heck? You would see me make a video and I'd say, I no longer support this brand. I've done it. There are brands that you no longer see me support because they started to do things that did not have the customer's best interest in mind, and it was all about the bottom line. People begin selling junk. That's it for me. I don't care if you have one customer a year or 1 million. You should be getting what you paid for, and you damn well better put your back into whatever product you're selling. This country is founded on the ideals of freedom, liberty, for you to choose and do whatever you want. It's also built by the work of the hands, the sinew, the muscle, the bone of our forefathers that scratched and dug this place out of the soil to create this perfect experiment of liberty. I hope this discussion was meaningful to you. I'm passionate about this stuff. I'm passionate about you guys having the best tools available to help your family live a long, full life. Make no mistake, I enjoy this. Make no mistake, there will come a day that I won't be on this channel anymore as I go off to my next phase of the universe. Today I'm going to be here for a little while longer, and I'm going to enjoy doing it with you. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Tell somebody you love them. Follow the link to get some CCW safe coverage today.
Brandishing is probably our top claim. We get more claims for brandishing than any other kind of incident. It usually goes one of two ways. We get the call that I was involved in a road rage, or somebody was threatening, menacing me in some way, and I displayed my firearm and the threat dissipated. I've called law enforcement, they're on the way, I need representation. Or the one is harder to deal with is when we get the call and he says, I was involved in a road rage last week.
Oh, God.
I displayed my firearm, the threat dissipated, but now the police are knocking on my door wanting to know what I did. In law enforcement, the first person that calls 911 is viewed as the victim. What happens, road rager has called 911 and said, hey, this guy pointed a gun at me. Now we're behind the eight ball when it comes to offering coverage.
Sure. Because that guy's now saying,